Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I did not anticipate doing a review or a video at all today. I have had one of those weeks where I woke up this morning wanting to both punch the sky and also at the same time sleep for 4 days in a row. I'm sure many of you probably know that feeling. So I rolled over and I was looking at my phone, and Bath and Body Works was like, oh, buy one, get one free candles, which I had kind of heard whispers about that. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll go to Bath and Body Works and smell some candles and then go to the grocery store, even on a Saturday before the Super Bowl. I'm okay with that because weirdly, I have a grocery store fetish. Nothing calms me like shopping for groceries. Even if I don't pick up anything, just like walking the aisles, I cannot explain it. The food, all of the food around me just brings me to a place that I need to be at. Anyway, so that's what I did this morning. So very early this morning, I went to my Bath and Body Works, and surprise, again, I had heard whispers about this, but it kind of had gone in one ear and out the other, being the week that it was for me. But surprise, we're in the tropics now at Bath and Body Works. So I don't know about you, but I was kind of surprised at the fact that we did not have a big tropical moment in January, which is what we usually have. Where's my, oh, here it is. Thank God. I'm still like needing to nurse my coffee. Yeah, so I expected a big tropical push in January, and we had a few tropical candles drop. Many of the ones that we're seeing on big displays right now have been tucked away in the corner. I have noticed that, like those tinted glass kind of weird neon ones. But for the most part, we did not get a huge tropical push. And instead, we actually got a spate of candles that were kind of botanical and spring-like, which is a little odd. Like the really beautiful greenhouse candles, and then the new Black History Month candles were quite botanical and spring-like as well. So, and it's very early for that sort of thing. Not that retailers don't anticipate by months and months. But I wonder now, since we're seeing the big tropical push now here in February, if something wasn't ready at the right moment. Did they really mean to bring out, for instance, like all of the lilac blossoms and all of that, like before the tropical? I don't know. I'm not sure. But at any rate, if you thought the tropical was not happening, if you thought the escapist candles were not happening at Bath and Body Works, you are mistaken. We are now in the tropics. I took a couple pictures when I walked in the door of the big spread, of the big floor set, lots of colorful candles. One of the signs even said, from wintry gray to neon dream, like in really big letters. So they're definitely going with a kind of almost 90s neon beach scene. One of the candles was really great. The sunset one, I can't remember what it was. It was like an amber candle, and it was like a sunset, basically. It was very 90s. I should have taken a picture of it. I think it's a candle that came out last summer. It's not that great, to be honest, but the packaging is so on point this time. So it's not quite neon 90s, which actually I would have really liked, with some like neon signs, even some neon signs like on the candles themselves. For me, the vibe is very almost sinister. There's kind of like, I appreciate the colors. I think the colors are fine, but they are neon in kind of a muted way, which is kind of weird. And then some of the plants seem like out to get us a little bit. You know what I mean? Like the tendrils just look really kind of menacing. So I was getting a very like Murder in Paradise / 90s neon vibe, which was a little disturbing. I'm not going to lie to you. There were some candles that some packages seemed to land better than other ones. A couple of them looked super ugly on the website, and actually in person were not that bad. So here is Ocean Driftwood, for instance, which I thought looked really ugly on the website. But then when I was holding it, I was like, oh, this is kind of stunning. You know, it like works. It looks better in person. But do you see what I mean with like the scary plants? I don't know. I don't know if that was intentional, but it is kind of a little bit of a... the only thing I can say is a little menacing. This packaging is menacing. God bless. Also, while some of their packaging seems to land okay, and some of it is even like Ocean Driftwood, really kind of evocative, nothing is quite as good as Kent from Candle Channel, who has an escapist tropical line at Goose Creek right now, which in my opinion is one of the best tropical packaging that I have ever seen, and it's very classic at the same time as being like colorful and appropriate. I would say that the packaging for Bath & Body Works this year is not classic, and intentionally not classic, while it still has many of the colors and many of the motifs that we would associate with like a tropical offering. And we've got like the elephant holder and all that sort of thing. Okay, so close parentheses. I went in because I wanted to try, they have a new candle that is called Tropidelic. And here is actually a video of what that display looked like. This is a brand new scent for them. I wanted to smell it. And I also thought that the packaging was really stunning. And I'm gonna stand behind that. I love, love, love tiger lilies. It's always been like a real passion of mine. So here's the candle right here, Tropidelic. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, going with their motif here, it is colorful, it is tropical, and kind of neon-y, but with the black behind it, again, we're going with kind of that like darker vibe. I thought it was most successfully done with this particular candle and with this particular like marketing direction here for all of the flanking Body Works kind of products for Tropidelic. I love it personally. I love the dark black up against those pops of color. And as I said, I am like obsessed in tiger lilies. I can't explain to you why. I'm not married, but if I ever got married, I would, and I told my sisters this, I want tiger lilies for my flowers. And my sisters were like, tiger lilies? Like orange tiger lilies? I'm like, yeah, orange tiger lilies. Like the ones in the ditch. Well, I don't want them to be from a ditch, but I was trying to explain. I'm like, I want them like dewy and tropical and maybe some different colors and maybe some plumeria. And they just looked at me like I was literally insane. Folks, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. There is something about the tiger lily that I just love so much. Look at that big one right there. Oh, and this packaging just goes there. I love it. Okay, so the notes on this one are Irresistible Passion Flower, Ylang Ylang, and Misty Rainforest. So, by the way, this has kind of like a goldish lid, which actually goes great with this like particular packaging. It's really nice. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not only does this seem like a fairly weak and basic candle, but then on top of it, it is a botanical candle. I'm actually getting a little bit of almost like a banana flower note in this, which is beautiful. Yeah, I would say that my caveats are mainly that it just seems weak and like it's not going to have a very good strength and throw. And I wonder if it doesn't quite have enough layers that it should have. That being said, it is a fragile kind of authentic rainforest botanical. And often those notes are a little bit difficult to project. What I appreciate is that they haven't gone like the very typical route for them by adding a ton of like shower gel, soapy, like all those kinds of things. That's what I really appreciate. That being said, I think that the volume needs to be like much higher than what it is right here. Like I said, almost a faint banana flower or banana leaf smell. And yes, it does almost have like a freesia kind of smell to it. It's that sweet tropical flower kind of. I don't think that it goes like plumeria necessarily. Passion flower. I'm not familiar enough with passion flower to know if that's what exactly I'm smelling, but it could be. With the ylang ylang. But then with the misty rainforest, I mean, that could be almost anything. And I wonder if it is a note of banana, but it's not like a candied banana, right? It's a very botanical banana. I really like it because I love rainforest, beachy, tropical. I love botanical. I love green. And I don't mind subtle. I am a little concerned about it. But I had to bring it home because for the packaging alone and the fact that it's a fairly authentic, nice floral botanical, I was like, yeah. I mean, do you know how many Bath and Body Works candles I've brought home that are much worse, much more synthetic? Ugh, yeah. I'm really interested to see what the presence is like when it's burned. And man, I'm hoping for the best. I'm really hoping that it's kind of one of those quiet candles that really blooms, no pun intended, when it is burned. So that is Tropidelic. And because I had a free reward that was going to expire, I went ahead and picked up one of these perfumey things because why not? Yeah, it's nice. Almost a gardenia note too. Almost a gardenia. Ooh, and now that I'm smelling it this way, this is the perfume though, so perhaps certain notes will come out in the perfume that don't in the candle. There's a little bit of a pepperiness, yeah? Ooh. And sometimes the white florals, especially like jasmine, will have kind of like a peppery finish to it, as in black pepper. Ooh, I'm liking that a lot better in the perfume than I was in the candle. Yeah, the candle is much sweeter than the perfume is. And the candle has, if I'm not mistaken, some banana nuances that I'm not getting at all in the perfume. So, from product to product, you may get a different vibe, but overall, I like them both. And I think that this is an attempt to really give us an acoustic and a little bit more stripped down, botanical kind of tropical take, which is a little unexpected for Bath and Body Works. It's a little unexpected for their escapist tropical moment, especially in a packaging like this. I'm a fan, and I'm really hoping that the candle performs. But please don't get it twisted. It's a little underwhelming to smell it on cold. The other candle, since it was a buy one get one free, that I went ahead and picked up was this one right here, as you can see with this. These plants are less sinister. I'm not getting a sinister vibe from these ones. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know that I love this packaging. This label is textured though, which is kind of nice. And then look at that. Ooh. Yeah, that's nice. So beach weather, I assume many of you guys know beach weather. I feel like I've seen this out several times and I've just never paid it any mind, if you know what I mean. But the notes on it are sun-dried sandalwood, island coconut, breezy palm trees, and crashing waves. So all things up my alley. And I really like this, and frankly, very strongly in the vibe of this candle, which is to say kind of a stripped down, minimalist, acoustic, natural, tropical, botanical kind of experience. This one is supposed to have, with the crashing waves too and the palm trees, I'm thinking that there's probably like kind of an outdoorsy, aquatic element. I could see that, but for me, it's kind of the floral and the coconut that are the most obvious, or the kind of your top notes of the candle. But it's not, again, a candied or synthetic coconut. It's not a candied or synthetic tropical botanical. This doesn't actually have any florals in it, so I am getting a floral note from it. Not sure what floral note it is. Gosh, it almost smells like it could be like a tuberose, which would make sense with the coconut. It's kind of a faint tropical white floral maybe. Yeah, I actually really like this one. And it does have a little something that doesn't go full peppery like this dry down with the Tropidelic perfume. But there is something a little bit grounding, a little bit, I don't know if it's true woody, but it kind of goes into the lower register and might be, again, I don't want to say even herbal, but there is something that's cutting the sweetness a little bit on the botanical range down below. Breezy palm trees. They might have even added a little bit of a wood note in there with the tree, yeah? I really like it. Again, though, with Tropidelic, a little bit of a modest, more muted kind of candle. And I really think you're not going to love either one of them unless you're like a super botanical person. If you're a botanical person, you've got to be real happy with Bath & Body Works over the last like month or two. Because I would say that the majority of the candles that they've been offering, especially their new ones, have been botanical leaning, which I kind of really appreciate. Also, like apropos for early spring, you know, but I love botanicals, and so I'm really happy. That said, if like your bread and butter is more like gourmandy or uber sweet, I'm not sure that these would necessarily be your jam. And I can imagine you feeling like this is super underwhelming. On a certain level, I kind of agree with you. On another level, I do really appreciate when Bath & Body Works tries to go subtle as opposed to aggressive and linear. And what I appreciate is that these candles, I think, are an attempt to go a little bit more subtle, a little bit more of an acoustic performance, a little bit more botanical than obvious like body or personal fragrance. So I appreciate it. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I also picked this one up because I have been burning lately, and I'm going to do a review on it. I've been burning a coconut sandalwood candle, which while the packaging is very similar to packaging that is currently on the floor, coconut sandalwood actually did not come out in this packaging this year. So this candle is actually 2 years old. And I have been burning this one because I don't know that I've actually ever burned a coconut sandalwood. And I expected to fully love this candle. For me, it's a little bland. And so that's part of the reason too why I picked up this one, because I thought to myself, actually, this is a coconut sandalwood that has a few other elements to it. And I think I like this one a little bit better. And it's sweeter, but I just liked it better. So I wanted to bring it home and kind of do some comparisons with that one as well. So, oh, this is the Stonewall Home Sandy Beach. This has more caramel amber overtones to it. The only other thing that I bought at Bath & Body Works is some of these car thingies. They were 3 for $11, which is nothing to be particularly wild about, but I have been loving my little car things. Anyway, I got mahogany coconut because look, mahogany coconut came out, which I like to see. Mahogany coconut is another candle I've been burning, which a review will be coming down the pike for that too. Really fantastic fragrance and very bold. So I haven't had this in my car, but I really want to try it. And then I went ahead and got another In the Stars because I do love In the Stars. Although I just put one of these in my car and it's like not really giving me a whole lot. So I don't know if it's just this particular fragrance that the car fragrances are not particularly, because I had over the holiday season I had like the golden berry mistletoe car one, and it like blew everyone out of the car, and it lasted forever and ever, you know. So then In the Stars just seems to be incredibly subtle. We'll have to see what mahogany coconut does. But there you go. That was my little haul from Bath and Body Works. And I'm actually really excited to have some of these like fragile beachy ones. I'm okay. I'll go escapist for this month. I'll go it. I've been doing a lot of like deep like marshmallow fireside kind of candles, a lot of lavender. I've been like centering myself with a lot of very seasonal candles for January, February. And so I wouldn't mind a few like fragile tropical botanicals. I think that might be actually quite nice. I'm not sure that I'm ready to like be blown out by floral in my house or even, frankly, coconut and pina coladas. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention is those two limited edition candles that dropped, the root beer float and the pink bubblegum candle. They were by the door, so I did look. I mean, I knew right off those were not my candles. Those are not for me. Root beer float just seems super authentic if you're into that sort of thing. I don't know how it compares to, I know Kringle has done several root beer, or at least one root beer candle very recently. For me, that root beer float was just, it wasn't just root beer. Like you could almost sense the like carbonation all up in your nose. Like it was sparkly, you know, super authentic. Again, though, not my vibe, not my candle. What was interesting was the pink bubblegum candle. And I assume that's not a new candle. So probably you all know this, but that pink bubblegum candle is actually very muted, very subtle, and very vanilla forward. That's a vanilla candle with a bubblegum nuance. And I was super surprised because the girl came up to me. She's like, have you smelled it? And like put it in my nose. And I was just like, before I could even say, I'm the wrong girl. I'm the wrong girl. Go share this candle with someone else. I smelled it and I looked at her and I was like, oh, that is just not what I expected at all. With packaging such as this, here's a package, here's what the candle looks like, you know, all from like a 5-year-old's birthday party. I assumed that candle would just be an onslaught of synthetic candy vibes. And instead, like I said, it's a very strong vanilla candle with some bubblegum nuances. But I had to smell deep to like get those bubblegum nuances. So I thought that was just really interesting. I mean, it's still not, I'm not even a vanilla person, so it's still not my candle, but I'm just curious for all of you who do go for that sort of thing, whether that would be a disappointment. Like, do you know that candle smells that way? Like, how do you feel about it? I don't know, just curious. I thought that was curiouser and curiouser. All right, my friends, that's what I've got. Mini Saturday haul. Really glad to see you. I'm hoping my week's a little bit better next week. And I have these lovelies to be with me and this Tropidelic, whatever. I'm going to take this. I've got a few like old school Victoria's Secret tropicals like this too that are just like minis, and I like use them all in the summer. But I might use this one now just, I mean, it's just truly escapist, but you get it. I mean, Bath & Body Works is totally right with the grayness. Like you do get in January, February, even to some extent March, and you just need a pop of color, and you need for even a day to just be in the tropics, just be in the Dominican Republic, be in Jamaica, you know? and breathe that in. All right, my friends, tell me what you think. I'll see you in the next one.